The mid to late 90s was the golden age of anime fan sites, many of which having unique layouts and custom graphics. The World Wide Web back then was bustling with creativity and inspiration, unlike today with sites like Facebook, Twitter, and other social media platforms dominating the internet, providing users with soulless profiles that really only allow you to customize your profile picture and maybe a banner. In today's video, we are going to do a deep dive into the world of Kodocha fan sites from the late 90s and early 2000s. Many of these sites are only accessible via the Wayback Machine, and some of these images from them are missing. However, there is still plenty of information and rare pictures to be found, and I look forward to sharing these finds. Thanks to all the creators of these lost fan sites, your work is still enjoyed by many hardcore Kodocha fans today, and acts as a time machine for this wonderful period in internet history. Now let's check out some of the most notable Kodocha fan sites ever made. Alright, so the first fan site that I'm going to look at today is called the Angry Cows Hayama Aikido Shrine. So this is one of the only fan sites that I was able to find that is still up and is not really only accessible on the Wayback Machine. So all the other sites that will be on this video today, I could not find versions of them that are still intact on the internet, so most of them don't exist anymore other than being on the Wayback Machine. So this one is pretty fun. I like the humor of whoever created this, so I'm scrolling down here to see. So I think the person's name who created this site is named Chris Wolf, and I'm not sure if they, I'm assuming they probably still pay for this page to be up, but it hasn't been updated according to the update section since, I believe it says 2001, so it's been up for a while. Okay, so on this site there's actually a section that has just photo galleries of Hayama, Sana, and rest of the characters. So I actually found some pretty cool pictures that I don't usually see like in the search engines whenever I look up Kodocha stuff. So I'm going to show some of those photos here. Enjoy some nice music while I show these photos. Alright, so another interesting little section on this site here that I found that I feel like is worth sharing is there's an entire page dedicated to comparing Kodocha to the TV show Dawson's Creek of all things. So this, I love this section here, and they got really creative with it. And as I was going through, I thought, okay, I'll just, mention the most humorous comparisons, but honestly, I think this page deserves to be gone through all the way. Every single one honestly got a chuckle out of me. Alright, so let's read what they have to say up here. So the title of this page is Why Kodocha is Better Than Dawson's Creek. And they have a 21 reasons why it's better. So now I agree with that statement. I can't speak for anybody else, but I'd say Kodocha is better than Dawson's Creek. I haven't watched Dawson's Creek since I was, oh gosh, it's been over 10 years. I was a very young teenager when I first saw it, and it's a good show, but, I haven't seen it in so long, so I don't remember much about it. So anyways, let's get into it. So number 1, there's no original headgear on Dawson's Creek, so I think they're referring to Mama's headgear, all her crazy hats, which we're actually going to get into more of that later in this video. Okay, second reason. On Kodocha, everyone has screwed up lives, but nobody whines about it. Yeah, that's actually why I prefer Kodocha. They try to make it humorous, but, I can enjoy a good teen drama too, but if I had to choose, I'd definitely choose Kodocha. Okay. Number 3. At 11 years old, Akito has had more girls than Dawson. I don't really remember a whole lot about what Dawson was going through. I seem to remember he was either friends with or he had a crush on the girl who was played by, her name's Katie Holmes. But that's true. I mean, spoiler alert, Akito's first kiss was actually Fuka, so yeah, I guess he's had 2 girls, and I guess Dawson zip. Alright, number 4. No characters in Dawson's Creek are ever struck with mallets, even though some of them really need it. Now, that's probably true. I'm sure, in any teen drama, the hormones are raging, so they could probably use it. I can agree with that. Number 5. Because Hayama at 11 years old knows how to cop a feel when the opportunity arises, while Dawson wouldn't know a feel if he felt it in his hands. Oh yeah, okay. I think we all know what that means. Okay, number 6. Because Sana-chan's rapping will win out on Joey's solo in the beauty pageant episode any day. Well, if anybody can recall that, I don't remember that episode, but I'm sure Sana's rapping was a lot better than Joey's solo. I guess he's singing. I don't remember. Number 7. Because Tsuyoshi serves as such a better sidekick than Pacey does. I mean, come on. Can you see Pacey ever saying, "Ah, I'm feeling..." Oh my gosh. Yeah. I remember not really liking Pacey when I did watch Dawson's Creek, so yeah, Tsuyoshi's definitely better than him. Alright, number 8. There's no Babbitt to tell you who likes who in Dawson's Creek. That's true. That's true. We do definitely need a Babbitt in every show to kind of guide us and tell us what's going on. Number 9. Much cooler opening and closing songs in Kodocha. Yes, I agree with that. I totally agree. I do like the opening of Dawson's Creek. I used to listen to that song a lot when I was a teenager, but I actually always used to, when I was when I was in middle school, I used to sing the version that Peter sang on one episode of Family Guy.
I don't want to wait for my lunch to get colder. Why can't I eat it now?
Alright, number 10. Speaking of the opening song, the Dawson's Creek people do not do a cool dance during the opening. They just sort of sit there. Yeah, that's true. Well, they gotta look dramatic, you know. Number 11. Nobody in Kodocha is having sex with anyone else. At least not that you have to know about it. That's true. I mean, there's some moments between Rei and Asako that were kind of suggestive, so, yeah. I did respect that, you know. I mean, it is an anime, so and it was one that was geared toward children, so I did like how they, you know, there were things that adults watching the show could imply, but I'm not really a fan of explicit scenes in TV shows, let me just put it that way. Alright, number 12. Serious themes such as suicide are dealt with much more humorously in Kodocha, so I actually might have to cut that word out there. I've seen other YouTubers do it because, you know, the YouTube gods might get angry, but yeah, that's true. I do like how the show, you know, they have serious moments and they handle them in a comedic way. I do appreciate that. Alright, number 13. When a Dawson's Creek character is feeling glum, they whine about it for several episodes. In Kodocha, they rap about it for 20 seconds and get on with life. Yep, that's the truth. Alright, number 14. In Kodocha, Hayama takes a picture of the teachers in a compromising situation. In Dawson's Creek, Pacey and his teacher are in a compromising situation. Oh no. For anyone who's seen that show, they'll know what they're referring to here, and yeah, it's a pretty uncomfortable thing. I remember, you know, watching, I think I was 12 when I saw that show, and yeah, it's pretty weird to see that, but, you know, stranger things have happened, right? Okay, number 15. Sana would never ask Hayama how many times a day he walks his dog, so actually I'm not sure what they're referring to there, but I guess Katie Holmes asks Dawson all the time if he's walking his dog. I don't know. Number 16. Hayama does not suffer from Peter Pan syndrome. So, I guess if anyone doesn't know, I actually had to look it up myself. Peter Pan syndrome is basically when an adult, particularly a male, but this can happen with anyone of any gender, it's when an adult has the mind of a child. So, yeah, I mean, I'd say, you know, my analysis of Akito by the end of the series, he acts pretty grown up to me, even at the beginning, so, I mean, he acts more like a really bad teenage boy, even though he's 11, but still, he has very adultish mannerisms. Okay, number 17, and now this one, oh yeah, this wasn't the one that confused me. I think it's the next one. Nobody eats the Great American Asagohan in Dawson's Creek. That's Sana's milk and cornflake stuff. Remember that episode? Or otherwise attempts to ape American culture. That, yeah, I didn't understand that there. I mean, they are American, so I don't quite understand that one. Just gonna be honest with you. Okay, number 18. Kodocha merchandise is much more desirable than Dawson's Creek merchandise. I agree with that. I don't really know of any merchandise of Dawson's Creek. It doesn't really seem like that type of show. I'm sure it exists, but yeah, I mean, nowadays, in 2022, Kodocha merchandise is definitely more valuable and desirable, in my opinion, but some may disagree. Alright, number 19. I can actually sit through an episode of Kodocha without planning on doing something nasty to whoever made me watch it. Not that anyone makes me watch Kodocha. Yeah, I mean, I guess they really don't like Dawson's Creek. Number 20. Kodocha's writers don't make you want to scream. Yeah, I seem to remember when I watched that show, some of the things the characters did were frustrating. And finally, number 21. When Kodocha characters cry, it's much more attractive and pretty. Well, they are anime characters. But let's give a moment of silence to the crying Dawson meme. Alright, moving on to the second fan site today. I'm going to look at a site known as Cryjanai. There we go. I'm not very good at Japanese. I'm sorry. Alright, so this site had some pretty interesting information on it. So the first thing that I'm going to cover here is there's actually a section on this website that covers some of the sites that you could go back in the day. So the site's like from the late 90s, I think it's from 1999. And it has a list of different websites that you could go and get some Kodocha merchandise. So most of them are where you can buy the DVDs, the VHS tapes, the manga. And I want to note that I believe this site was actually made before the English dub was a thing, which actually a lot of the sites that I'm looking at today in the video are before the English dub, and I think it was before any of the dubs. I think it was just strictly in Japanese at this point in time. So that's a pretty cool section, and I definitely recommend like going to this site to kind of look through it. It's got some really interesting stuff on it, and I'm going to post links to all the sites on the Wayback Machine in the description below, so you can check all this stuff out for yourself, because of course, you know, I can't cover everything or be a whole mini-series, which I guess, you know, Kodocha fans would like that, but you know, I feel like it just, you know, it's important to cover the most important and interesting topics here. Alright, so another interesting little section on this site is actually they put together a little Kodocha dictionary, which I thought was pretty cute. And basically it's just a list of different things that are unique in Kodocha, or some are Japanese phrases too, to kind of understand, you know, what they're referring to throughout the show. So for example, in the dictionary they talk about the barucha, which is Sana's little walkie-talkie she uses to communicate with her friends, and the Aoki Award, which is the award that her mom won for her book about her ex-husband. And it also tells you the meaning behind the title of the website, which is a phrase, the phrase Cryjanai. I finally pronounced it right. And this is what Akito says when Sana, you know, she's trying to figure out, like, you know, does he like me? Does he hate me? And so the phrase just translates to, I don't hate you, which he says it throughout the series. So he says it to Sana. He also says it when he has sushi for the first time, and his dad is like, "You like it, son?" And he's like, "I don't hate it." Next up, we have a page called Signs That You've Watched Too Much Kodocha, which is, there's some interesting ones on here. The first one is, when you can't find your cell phone, you call out "Baru, Baru, Baru," which I guess is referring to the barucha. I like the second one because, you know, honestly it reminds me a bit of my husband. You tell your significant other with shiny eyes, Cryjanai. Yes, my husband reminds me a lot of Akito. Maybe that's why this is my favorite anime, I don't know. I like this one too. In true Hayama Chi-Chi fashion, which is referring to his father, you talk to Sana while she's on the TV screen. Those moments of the show always make me laugh. Hi Sana, come visit us sometime. Let's see here. You've considered buying or already bought the Japanese DVDs in order to own Kodocha in a non-degradable format. Oh, well, yes, I've done that myself, so. But yeah, I'll leave a link to this portion of the site as well. There's some other funny little phrases here, but I thought I'd just mention some of the best ones. There's also one on here that says, you've suddenly started liking sushi. Well, you know what? That actually is true. Around the time I started watching this anime, I tried sushi for the first time, and it's become one of my favorite foods, so that's actually pretty accurate. So, yeah, definitely check out this one. This is a pretty funny site. They've got a lot of interesting little pages here to explore. Alright, the last section on this site that I'm going to cover is weird things about Kodocha. So I actually found this one to be the most interesting one on this particular fan site. Because I actually, you know, there's some things I never really thought about, like, yeah, that is pretty weird. Alright, so I think, now I think when they talk about the voices, it's referring to the Japanese dub, so I'll keep that in mind as we're going through it here. Hayama's voice changes a lot with time, at least in my opinion. I actually like the one closer to the end better, but I've heard people say otherwise. Sana's voice also changes, but not as much. I guess changes like that are to be expected in a series so long. And they are kids, so their voices naturally change. Well, that makes sense, yeah. I will say, with the English dub, I did notice a change in the character Tsuyoshi. His voice sounds a little different to me in the beginning of the series. I wonder if anybody else has noticed that. Please let me know in the comments if you have. But yeah, it's like his voice seems more deep in the beginning of the series, which doesn't make any sense, you know, because the little boy's going through puberty, you know, his voice gets deeper over time, but I don't know. Alright. Okay, here's another one here. After he's no longer Sana's quote-unquote boyfriend, Rei becomes really pathetic. I guess they felt that after he no longer had to be worthy love interest, they should develop his comic relief potential to the fullest. Well, he wasn't really a love interest, so I gotta say the creator of this site kind of missed the point there, but I don't know, I haven't really watched the Japanese dub extensively, so it might be different there. But it'd be pretty weird if he was a love interest, just saying. Alright, Hayama Chichi, also known as Hayama's father, just grows weirder and weirder with time. And that, honestly, that's one of my favorite things about it, about Kodocha, is Kito's dad. He's hilarious. I especially love, one of my favorite episodes, actually, is the one where they think that he's dating he has a new girlfriend, and they're trying to scare him away because, you know, Kito's older sister, Nazumi, she's like, oh, I don't want another mom, you know, and he raps in that episode. It's really funny. Alright, and here's one more little bit of information that I actually found to be interesting. When Asako doesn't pay attention to Rei, he's obsessed with her beyond reason. He sleeps with the little Asako doll. But once in a while, Asako does pay attention to him. Rei pretty much ignores her to concentrate on Sana-chan's career. Yeah, that's pretty accurate.